everyone, it's Cubby Bricks. Sorry, it's been a while since I've been around. I'll go into that a little bit later. But if you're new to the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. And a little bit about what we're going to go over today. I'm going to tell you about where I've been for the past few months. I'm also going to do a little bit of history of the city, which you see here in its current state. This is kind of a May 2020 update, and I'll be going over some of the things that I've been doing to the city. And then I'll go through parts of the city, try and make it not too long so that you keep watching. And then we're also going to do what's next, what you're going to see in the next few weeks and months from the channel going forward. So a little bit about why I've been gone. Actually, it's been tough just getting time to work on Lego, but also do the channel itself. Life is sometimes when you're raising a 2-year-old, he's now 2 years old. And so things just kind of, it's hard to get down here and work on the city and film. And then also just update videos and update things. But so I'm trying to get back to it, trying to do more videos, more overviews, and we'll go from there. So the history of the city itself, for those of you who watched previous videos, it was back in 2017 when I first got started. And way before being an AFOL, one of my dreams as a kid was to have a big city, big layout. So I have a bunch of original base plates. You'll see the base plates throughout the city. And then also, up until now, but I've had a real affection for police and fire and first responders in terms of the hospital sets. So you'll see a lot more of those in prevalence across the city compared to other things. But what happened when I first got back into Lego, I started buying different sets. I started amassing different sets without necessarily a layout in mind. I knew what I wanted to buy, things that I wanted to buy when I was a kid and my parents couldn't afford it. I didn't have any money. And so these are things that I wanted to buy. So I kept buying and buying and buying. And then next thing you know, I just accumulated a bunch of city sets. And then finally, I was able to build a first city in our previous house. And that's the one in the videos you've seen earlier 2 years ago, or 3 years ago now, sorry. But now, now that we're in our new home for about 2 years, I finally got a chance to update the city, do the layout I wanted, and that's where we're at right now. So the city is enormous. It runs nearly the course of the basement itself. It rests on IKEA tables. I would say about 20 of them total. Each of the tables that they're on, I can't remember the name of them, but they're from IKEA, and they're 3 base plates wide and 6 base plates long. So that's how I'm able to lay out the city. And there's some gaping holes, and I'm going to explain why they're holes, so we'll go over that. But what you have here first is the downtown area where all the modular buildings are. I recently built the corner garage right here. And then also I have the bookstore built right over there. And then throughout the city, you're going to see a lot of the helicopters and planes that are elevated. And that's because 2 reasons. One, I think it looks cool when it's like this. And second, I didn't want to hang stuff from the ceilings, which is an option. I've seen some builders do that, but I wanted to just try elevating it from the city. Overall, the city, I drew a lot of inspiration from other YouTubers like Alex Nunes and Brixie, BrickLover225, a bunch of other YouTubers that I've been watching. So that's part of the reason. Some of the layouts, some of the inspiration, some of the designs are drawn from other people, but some of my unique tweaks as well. And going on, so we have this more of the creator series buildings. This hole you see right here is actually designed to be a special project I'm working on for Mrs. Cubby Bricks and my mother-in-law, and I'll go into that a little bit later in another video, but that explains that hole right there. You'll see the park area right over here, where it's actually fairly cluttered, and I think I'm bringing a lot of those sets from the park. Probably going to put that in that special project over there in that hole so it doesn't look so cluttered. So we're going here along the way. This is the residential area. And so I try to do a little bit more detailing. That was actually the last step in the process, was trying to make sure that there is enough detail in the city itself to make it look thriving and bustling. You'll see a lot of cities here, or a lot of buildings here, and the train track runs the course around the city itself. So you're going to see the Ghostbusters HQ right over here. And I really loved these highway ramps that came out. I can't remember the set name right now, or the set number, but I was able to do some kind of overpass for the train tracks and the entrance to the airport. And so there's the train station and the delivery truck recycling area. That's the little port that goes over to the water. And of course, the windmill right over here. And then there's some details that I had some extra pieces, some extra parts, so I wanted to build like a little motorcycle gang being chased by the police, a cop being pulled over. A little thing about, or a cop pulling someone over. A little thing about the lights. So I know that Lego designs in the scheme of Europe, where a lot of the first responders are all blue, but for me, growing up in Chicago, that's where I grew up, and a lot of the officers, a lot of the police cars, a lot of fire trucks, the police are blue and red, and the fire trucks for me were red and green and white. So that's why you see some of the lighting detail. Having a chance to do all of it, like for example, some of the boats, so the fire boats all blue still, and I'm working through that. And then right over here is the campground area. So the campground area is something I thought it was something that I couldn't have done before the expansion of the city. This was going to be the amusement park, and then figured out that it was too small for all the sets. So I made this into a campground. It has parking, the little wooded area, and then it has the new tree house right here, and then a little camping area here. Just try and scoot along the wall. So here's a little set, or a little mock I did. You'll see that the city is just made up of several sets right out of the box, put together, not necessarily a lot of mocks. That's just my style of building, something I'm trying to work on. Do more buildings and more landscape. But this is something I designed here, where it's just a simple fishing pond, lake area, where it had some trees and shrubs and fishing and a pier, and the pier kind of leads up right next to the tree house. And then it leads into this river with kayakers and so on. This is actually going to be 2 white base plates. This is the entrance, kind of a funny entrance with the safari truck, but it's going to be the entrance to the imaginary mountain snow area that I have, that kind of leads off. If I had more space, I probably would do something with it. So that's that. The space area, something with some old school sets, some new sets. Just kind of a little area for a spaceport. The airport itself takes up a lot of space. I think 1.5 whole tables, right there. The beach area here with a little prison right here, and a lot of detail on the beach itself. The old fishing store with the shrimp shack, little parking garage, passenger airplane. And this was unique. I wanted to do it just on one, but I found out it was awfully heavy. So I spread it over 1, 2, 3 supports, and then across both the garage here. And then this is the general police area with all the motorcycles and ATVs and ladders, trucks, engines, helicopters, and so on. So this is the other side of the city you see here. The train station, more water area, donut shack opening, a lot of those creator buildings. And then I did build this as kind of like walkway, this pier, something I thought was kind of interesting, kind of cool, with a person here. I think he's making a proposal right there. And then fishermen, more boats, so on. So we're moving over to another part of the city. So these holes right here, this right here is going to be the Ninjago City and Ninjago City docks. And then this part over here is going to be where the new Chinese New Year sets are going to go. So kind of a display there. So I thought that'd be neat. There's the boat drop-off area. Now here, these two giant tables with their construction site, that is actually the amusement park. So I'm probably gonna do a detailed overview of that, of the plans, how that layout's gonna go. But the reason why I didn't focus on the amusement park quite too soon was because a lot of the sets are very fragile, very large, like the castle, Disney Castle, the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster. These are very large sets, and there's always a chance that we might be moving. So I didn't want to go into it quite yet, but I think we'll be here for a little while. So I didn't want to build those quite yet. Those will probably be last to build, and we'll see how the progress goes from there. As we zoom around the table, kind of see a little bit about the layout there. And this is the racetrack, something that I never really intended to have. But as I started, again, like I said, buying more city sets without necessarily plan, I found myself buying a lot of race cars and trucks and speed champions. And so I ended up designing kind of a race course, and I had the space to do it. And there you go. So originally the city was just a section. It stopped kind of here, right? So it went all the way the length of this side of the basement. But then the expansion came in two phases. It was this table, and then we actually added all of these tables right here. So that was the last piece that I was able to work on, and that's kind of where we're at. So going forward, I'm kind of going to try and do more monthly updates. So as I add things, I'll try and make monthly updates. I'll also try and do different type of videos. For example, I'll go into detail about the Arctic research station over there, and then some of the other areas I plan to do. Eventually, I'm going to try and do a BrickLink store overview. That's the parts that are over there. And then we're going to look over the stock and different things from different ideas that I've gotten from other YouTubers. So again, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them and I'll try and respond. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. Take it easy. Bye.